Well, hello. Welcome back to Tarot for Our Times. This is Sarah, your medium on the go. And I've been meaning to get to the Muskrat for days, but there's just so much insanity happening. Had to put him off for a day or so, but I'm finally got him. And of course, he is the continuation of the Page of Cups in reverse in the Titty Baby Parade. What can I say? This card will be making quite a few appearances as we go on. So, let's see what's going on with our little Nazi boy. Okay, so the cards will be working overtime as a Muskrat is getting ready to exit DC. His Tesla is in the toilet, and I guess he thinks that by leaving the government alone will probably make that come back. I doubt it, but I'm glad to see him go. So let's see, and then but the Doge boys, his little boys, are going to be hanging around to do their work. But apparently, as one commentator is saying, they have been without him. They're pretty much defanged, and I think that I hear on one of the Midas Touch guys that maybe. Or no, I was listening to Hogarth live last night, the British astrologer, and he was, I think he found on the internet, and I'll trust him, apparently they got hacked. And I guess that they may be going into disarray. I will probably be doing a reading, yes, I'll be doing a reading on them, and then it's going to be a matter of that this may be a two-parter, because there's a lot here, as they say, to unpack. So then we've got that, and then, oh yes, then there were the F-bombs in the Oval Office, and apparently he isn't, I guess it comes down to the broken clock being right twice a day, is that he is against the tariffs, but it's not for the world economy or us. It's for his cars. It's really bad for his business. He couldn't care less about the rest of us, but that's all. It's all about his cars. So we go. That must have been. Boy, I hope somebody had a phone running that gets on the internet. Boy, that would be. Get the popcorn out. But there's a more disturbing thing is that some other leaky thing that happened is that he very well could be a Russian asset. Well, I guess that's pretty obvious. Of course, this is all for entertainment purposes only. But the word is kind of out that it's highly possible that he has, when he and his little boys were getting into things that they shouldn't have been getting into, that there may have been some leaks to the of some very highly classified information to the Russians. So that is screaming for a reading, and so this may have to be a two-parter. I don't know. We'll just have to play it by ear, but I don't think any of these are going to be for a super short reading. So let's see. Let me begin. So we begin with our little our little incels. Big balls, he wishes, and I doubt it, and company. So we will begin with that because they're still going to be here. So let's see what those little whippersnappers are up to. Okay, so Okay, so we got the Doge boy. So, oh, yeah, this is kind of interesting. We have the Three of Wands in reverse, which is indicating they will not be going back to the countries that they from whence they came very soon. Although, but this is there is hope, but they will be going back. So this is a Three of Wands. So again, knowing that the tarot isn't really good for telling time, is it going to be 3 weeks, 3 months, or wouldn't it be wonderful 3 days? So it's going to be a three of something. I don't want to think that they're going to be here. So I don't think they're going to be around much longer because with big crybaby daddy, that they're not there to give them their bottles and stuff. And I do feel, and as I said, I don't know, it was maybe back in March. I did say in one of my videos that there's trouble in paradise with these guys, and that there is a traitor in the crowd. I'm not, they're talking about leaks here and leaks there, and I think that one of those little boys is a leaker. Okay, so then the energy around that is, here we have Five of Swords. So this is Big Daddy just stealing all the stuff. And this is kind of a little bit of a different twist on this card. He's pretty much leaving them. He's pretty much leaving them. And with their heads down, they may not be as brilliant as people think they are, that they may be kind of lost without him pulling the strings. And with these swords, he may be taking some information with him, which doesn't make me feel really good. But see, they don't have anything. He has a sword, so maybe the 3 week or the 3 day scenario could be it. These judges are really, really coming down hard, and there has been talk be that about sending the marshals to de-orange the White House, but we'll have to wait and see about that. So underlying all of this is, he can't that big baby cannot take the load anymore. So I don't know, I don't even think he never cared about government efficiency. All he cared about was getting his billions in contracts, and just like all of these other parasites, he's probably ready to throw those boys under the bus. So he's dumping with the Ten of Wands. It is an ending. He is leaving, and he's just going to dump all the crap on them. And this is, since we're a bit in the past with this, that's kind of been his deal all along. So then we have, we have the Nine of Swords, which is the up at night worrying. I think what this is telling me is that he's going to leave those boys worrying about, because he was kind of like the orchestra conductor. I mean, they dug up a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of those programs they're not too familiar with, and I think they may be worrying about saving their own behinds, because he will not be there to protect him. That's interesting. I think they felt protected. I think that's going to fall apart. Then we have, the walking away. This has some various layers to this card. This is in reverse. I think without his protection, they're in a kind of an emotional loss. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them were booking. Now, I don't know if he's holding their money or in their passports and making it like really hard for them. I don't know what's happening, but I think if that's not the case, because he's so narcissistic, he may not have even thought of that to keep them there. is it one by one they may be peeling off. And also, I'm sure he kept them under a tight leash that he could do their job. And guess what? It could be party time, cups reversed. It could be woohoo. We don't have big. Now, he may leave a babysitter, but I don't think that's going to do much good. It could be these guys figure, woohoo, we've got some money. It is party time. Let's see if we can pick up some chicks in Georgetown, but I doubt it. Their pictures have been all over the place. I don't think any self-respecting woman would want to go near one of those geeks. Okay. So it's pretty much, yeah, this is just chaos here. This is just spelling chaos. Because I think once he goes, he's going to be Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. And he's got his, and he's tripping out on carotene. And, that's not a lot to leave for thoughtful about, things about how he can manipulate them from afar. I think he's washing his hands. Okay, so in opposition of this, here we go. 5 of Wands in reverse. And I think it's just pretty much like it is upright. I think that those guys may be fighting. And since it's reverse, it's going to get worse. It could be fighting on steroids. Now, I would say that in the past, with him around, it's probably been verbal stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some partying in the mix, and without him being around to monitor their every move, I wouldn't be surprised if it's physical fighting. Should be interesting. It would be like, I just thought, well, what about he's probably got someone there? No, he's not really thinking of that. And it may be, I think that maybe those kids have figured out how, if it's not him, it's someone that they can kind of manipulate. This is what I'm driving at. Okay. So in their conscious thoughts, this should be fun. Oh, the Hanged Man in reverse. That's saying like they're not going to be hanging around like they usually were, or like it's like the sheriff is gone and we're pretty much going to do what we want to do. And if they want to book, they're going to book. I'm telling you, they'll find a way. They will definitely find a way. Because I think, now that there is the heat on this, they're not I'm getting this whole thing, they're not as protected. Subconscious, this should be fun. Oh, the King of Cups in reverse. Subconsciously, they know that although he's been feeding them fairy tales and God knows what else, but that they're finding out that how toxic their Lord and Master has been. That it's most of them, except that one in there, but the vast majority underneath all of this know what a toxic dump site that he is. But it's subconscious, which just because they're looking at they realize that their king, that Big Daddy, is a manipulative addict. Okay, and I would say that this is causing whatever fights are going on. This is kind of like the subconscious thing that could be driving them. Very interesting. So what's going on with them now is he's starting to make his exit. Now he may not physically be gone, but mentally, and this would be another indication. Mentally, he's gone. He's gone. Let him do whatever they're going to do. I've got to save my company. That's all he can think of. So, okay. So in the present, we have the Lovers. They have the Lovers. I think there's a partnership that's going on with someone else. I think what could be happening is that they may see the writing on the wall, and that that they may be a little bit worried about what they've been doing. Is not really legal. There've been some illegalities, but I keep getting this whole thing. He's moved on, and they are really not He said, leave them there and let them dig up what they're going to dig up. I'm thinking that it gets back to the one, and maybe another. Maybe there's a thought going on that there might be some whistleblowing to we're not going down for him, and some alliances made. Maybe alliances made with the law authorities. I would say that I'm feeling as though that this may be more something that they're considering. I think I need to plop a clarifier on there. Let's see. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The moon as the clarifier, which is their own psycho. When this sort of happens and their routine is getting changed, their kind of psycho issues are God only knows. I don't even want to go there with that. Okay, so their psycho issues are like they're coming to the surface, and they are really without direction. So this could be the panic thing, but this is kind of like their demons are out there front and center. So in the immediate future is, I think he'll physically leave soon, but he's kind of just getting hysterical in the White House for now. But I think that's kind of like to have the big row before booking. Okay. Oh, the Two of Swords in reverse. I keep getting that they're kind of getting thrown to the wolves in a bit. So what I'm seeing here with the Two of Swords in reverse is they deep down inside really know what they have to do. Like if they're told by the courts to delete stuff and not be giving any more stuff to Russia or whatever, they know what they have to do, but they still have the blindfold on. That this is telling me that they're getting ready. Reality is just kind of slithering, oozing on in there. So, but the blindfold's still on, the denial and all that stuff. But I'm saying, if they know deep down inside what they've got to do, these scared little boys this is just like save the ass reading. I'm feeling okay. So further out into the future, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, always comes up. I swear to God, do not do this on purpose. They have the devil. So right on top of the Two of Swords, there is still the thing of being chained to the devil, which is more in their minds. It's really in their minds. And this is all, but at the same thing, they realize how toxic that the King of Cups is, but for some reason they are still chained to the devil. But I think I need to put one of these on top of this because they may start really looking down at those chains. They may realize that they're not as tied as they think they are. So this is like the thought process they're going on. So let's see. Okay, so on top of the devil, I think this is the spark and the beginning of realization that's not a good idea. As tough as it is to break off, that they realize that they can do it. So this is a big struggle, and it does kind of go along with Mr. Moon, old man Moon here. Kind of goes along with that. So, I wouldn't want to be one of them. Okay, so let's see what we have in the hopes and the fears. The Page of Swords. This is interesting because every time I read about, most of the times I read about them, the Page of Swords in reverse is the spy in the camp. I think on the deep down insides, then they don't quite know who it is. That's what maybe all this fighting is about. on the deep down insides, I think they're kind of hoping that the whistle will be blown so that they can, in fact, do what they need to do with the Two of Swords. But the fear is that they, at the same time, is that the spy in the camp may go and rat them out. So, really interesting. And that card always comes up no matter what deck I use. So, in conclusion with this, we have can't make this stuff up, boys and girls. We have got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, which came up in yesterday's reading about, about the money. The money that's involved. It's the whole thing is the money involved and the ill-gotten gains. And what I think is that this is going to be exposed. It's going to be exposed as payouts. Having, as I said yesterday, or the previous one, it could be maybe money going back to replenish the Russian oligarchs to get back in the favor, but it could be the ill-gotten gains with the stock market. So let's see. And it could be that this person has found some stuff. This door swings both ways. They can be digging up all kinds of dirt on innocent civilians, so to speak, but they could be finding some dirt on campaign finance violations and all kinds of stuff that the higher ups are doing. So I would say that these boys lack a lot of maturity to come to any conclusion. They're probably living in a lot of fear. I think they're probably going to. Some of them will book. Some of them will go state's evidence and all of this stuff because I think they're going to realize that they are complicit in this, whether they knew it or not. So this is the conflict, and as well as another meaning of this is the inner conflicts too. I'm sure life around wherever they're staying is not really pleasant. They really do lack a lot of maturity to realize what they've gotten into. But I think, well, what the cards are telling me is that they're going to do whatever they need to do to survive this, okay? So, disarray with the Doge boys, and a lot of this stuff is going to come to light. Definitely going to come to light. Some of them have been getting hints that it is. So that this is going to fall apart. And the Three of Wands that in reverse, the indicated thing, doesn't mean it isn't going to happen. It's going to happen at some time, and maybe sooner than later. But all of this makes for, and if they've been hacked, this is really, they're not unified. That's the thing. They're not unified, and some of them are ready to rat each other out, and possibly to rat out the big cheese, the Muskrat's cheese. Okay, so, and the moon says that they have these, he picked these out because he's intuitive enough to know that they've got a lot of psychological, these incels have a lot of psychological problems, and they're which makes them easier to manipulate, but it also makes them loose cannons, which I believe this reading has shown. So we haven't seen the last of the lost. They're kind of like the Lost Boys in Peter Pan, I guess, but just growing into despicable adults, more or less. Okay, so, alrighty. So Tesla is a Mesla. So, we are going to do a read on that. And this may be a slightly shorter one, but to see if it can. I think he's, when you do drugs like that, you get into these delusions of grandeur, like, it's like that Trumpy only I can fix it. So I think that he's going to go for the only I can fix this, and I am the master of the universe. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's not ready to throw in the towel. He will be, but it'll be interesting to see what the board of directors say. Something tells me maybe the board of directors, they want him to get out of government and out of favor of the White House, so he can't be screwing things up for them. Because, it's not only the little working guy that's been suffering, but big business has been suffering with all of this stuff. Wait until people get sick with all that deregulation stuff. That's going to be not pretty with the lawsuits that'll come from that. Boy, those might be reinstated. But okay, so we'll take a slightly quicker look at Tesla, or if he's going to be able to do anything to stocks have come back, but not theirs. Pretty much that. But I did the reading on that whole issue yesterday, so I'm going to shuffle these up. So let's see the Tesla thing. Okay, so do a bit of a shorter read. This actually may become the two-parter. Okay, alrighty. Okay, we will see. Okay, Tesla is in a Mesala. Okay, I was going to use those others as I can shuffle as I go. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get the, okay, with him on the way back, let's see where they are now. Ooh. Losing. They're just losing and hemorrhaging. What can I tell you? This may end up being a shorter read. And the energy around this is... Okay. Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And is the Wheel of Fortune upright? Okay, Wheel of Fortune. This is the Wheel of Karma. I would say that this is usually good fortune, but how long lived? Is it going to get a little bit of a boost? I have to do the underlying things because they're losing with the Wheel of Fortune as the energy, but it's maybe in the purely karma sense. So I think I need to put some cards underneath this because these seem to be fighting each other. Okay, so can't make this up. Losing. Okay, so I'm going to say that he's upright. I'm going to say that the people that there's going to be a renewal of reconsidering this and about what the future's going to be, and it's not so sure, but literally they see things as fishy with him coming back. It may be this Wheel of Fortune may be losing. A lot of them they decide to pull out and become CEOs or whatever of other vehicle companies. That this could be the karma of this is a losing proposition, we need to find something better, and that they could do a lot better. So then we have a little bit in the future. King of Swords in reverse, which is saying that he as the head of this is lying his ass off. This is I think what this is saying, that they may look for good, because instead of maybe getting rid of him, the brand is so tainted now that they may just seek their fortune elsewhere. I think that's it. wash their hands of the whole thing. Losing. I mean, in opposition of this, we have, Three of Cups. Yeah, no, they're not celebrating him coming back. They really aren't. This is a chaotic. When it's upright, it's a chaotic celebrating. When it's in reverse, it's like they're not celebrating, and things are in chaos. And these cups in reverse are saying they are well aware of his drug problem. So this is saying that they may book their fortune elsewhere. So let's see. Conscious thoughts they have are, yep, they're thinking of balancing the ledgers, cutting their losses. They're really riding on, boy, this is a very, look at all those waves. And that ship may not go. So they're balancing out their choices about what they're going to do. And it's all about the money. Everything is about the money. Subconscious, oh boy. Subconscious is, it's not only him that's corrupt, but it's also his former boss, the toddler-in-chief. Now, I'm sure that they all voted for him and donated to him and this and that, but they know deep down inside, I think this is the buyer's remorse. Definitely buyer's remorse. It's in the land of the subconscious. So in the present, we have, I'm sorry, in the past, we have the Two of Swords. They know that they have to make a decision. They've known this for a while. But they're thinking it to death. They need to go with their gut feelings. Business people have gut feel. They need to go with that. They just need to go with that and stop thinking it to death. But there's a lot of ramifications about this. So moving on to smoother waters. So this is like, I'm not sure that all the big cheeses at Tesla are going. I think quite a few of them are going to cut their losses. But if we want to apply this to the Muskrat, I think in a way he may be sailing to smoother waters, but it might be just the change of scenery for a little bit, but not lasting. And it's interesting because in this deck, he's the solitary figure. There's no spirit guide, no little kitties with him. This is a journey alone, and he's trying to steer the boat, and we're not too sure if it may be just a temporary thing. So that's going on right now. Near future is the Knight of Cups, and his romantic vision of this is kind of like the going on to a new thing with the horse, which is pretty much galloping along with him thinking I've really got it together, and it's the Addict's Geographic. That's what these two cards. If I make the Geographic, things are going to be all right, but he's merely, and I think he'll feel a little bit of serenity for a while, but it won't last. That's what I'm saying. So further out in the future, we've got the Three of Wands in reverse, which is saying that, is it the two or the three? Yeah, the Three of Wands in reverse, which is saying the ship is capsizing. This is really, as soon as he gets over his little pink cloud of, I'm gone kind of a thing, it's pretty much going to be, it's sinking. There's no saving it, no matter where he goes. I don't know where he is going to go. Maybe he'll stay in the States. But that's it. That ship, that Tesla ship, that's sinking. That's definitely sinking. So I'm going to say in the conclusion of this, we have, he's still going to be, this comes up for him a lot. A lot of regime people, this really comes up. So this is kind of about, he's really getting backed up against a wall. And if he backs up too far, he'll fall out the window, which I can't help but to think in my recent interpretation of this card is that the Russians are involved. They may know that they're dealing with a loose cannon drug abuser for entertainment purposes only, and that you don't want to be near open windows when the Russians are pissed off at you. So I would say he maybe needs to watch his back, because if he thinks he may be, see this thing, he thinks he's escaping all of the swords, but no, he's not really. I think what this comes down to is that he needs to watch his back, because if the Russians get ticked off at him, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be something if they thought the Doge boys gave really sensitive information when it's bullshit from 10 years ago and they're pissed off, or they find some, so he's got to watch his back. And they've gotten people in other countries. So that is the conclusion. Things are just not going to end well for him. They just aren't. So if it isn't the Russians, it'll be something else. And his ketamine abuse isn't helping at all. So as I check this one off, okay. So I think I'll do, let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the F-bombs in the White House. We'll see how the time is, but I still think I might have to divide this up into two parts. But sometimes if I pick the first card, that may say, oh, I don't think I have to do a big whole deal on this. So let's just see. Okay, so F-bombs away in the Oval Office. I think that's going to be a quickie. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, they said it sounded like WWF. I love that. This whole, this whole thing since Trump and his Miss Us rode down that escalator, it has been like one big WWF thing. It truly has. So I'm going to take this deck and I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a shorty in that. Okay. Ooh. Oops. I have to say, like, when they pop out like that, we have the Two of Swords in reverse, and that was kind of like his decision to bring up the tariffs and get into some kind of fight with them. I think that he had probably not wanted to do that, but it would have been a better decision not to get started, because they've got stuff on him. That's the problem, is they do have stuff on him. So that could have been a very ill-advised move on his part. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit with some other cards here. So let's see. That's the thing, is a bad decision, a bad choice on his part. And then we have the, I think the visit was meant to be the kind of healing sort of thing for, so he could make a clean getaway, but there were knives, the knives came out, but it's in reverse, so there is some showing of some healing of that as the opposing card that maybe he thought he was clearing the air. It could be, and it also was saying that the clean exit that he wanted to make isn't so clean, and it will leave scars. I think that's the thing. It will leave scars. So let's see what we have here. We got the Knight of Swords. Oh boy, let's see. This is a crazy one. Okay. Oh, perfect. Knight of Swords in reverse, which is there's another person. Was he stabbing him? Maybe. Yes. So there's a fight. There's definitely a fight going on. Since it's in reverse, it's really ugly. I think they accused each other of lying, so the knives came out. The knives definitely came out for that one. And then we have over here, we have, oops. The Page of Swords. Okay. That there may have been someone in the room, I think, was trying to be the calm communicator. And let's see. Oh, it looks like that there may have been some reinforcements coming into the room, but there is a lot of wow. This is all swords in reverse, 3 swords in reverse and 1 upright. So I think that there may have been someone that came in that tried to calm things down before it became a PR mess. So I'm going to, what am I going to do? I am going to, I think this being in reverse is a little bit, I need to, okay. Okay, so we have the devil. Again, as always, we have the devil, who I believe was in the other room at the time that this was going on. So what this is telling me is that somebody came around and said, okay, you've got to all kiss and make up, make nice before. We don't want him to come in, and this is a nightmare. Because I don't think he was in the room. I don't think he was occupied with something else. So I think that they thought there might have been healing and this sort of thing. Like everybody kiss and I think this, yeah, everybody kiss and make up. But the damage was done. And this will leave scars. This is usually what happens. This will leave scars. So then, then we want to see about... Then we want to see if he is the Russian asset. So what I'm going to do is I think, let's see, I have that. And, okay, that. I think we could finish with that because I'll combine that with the karma nipping at his heels because I think it's come into all of the readings. So I think I will do the Russian asset. So this might be just a tad bit longer than usual, but that's a very important question, and I think that we use these little decks right here. So we're going to see if he's a Russian asset, if there is real, because it just, again, I got this message from the other side saying, that it's possible that they thought they were feeding some crucial stuff to the Russians, but it might have been garbage because don't forget it came out and everybody seems to have forgotten this, that, they're using programs from the 1980s that these kids were too young to even have a clue about. So it's really, you have to wonder what have they really been getting and that they got hacked. Which is something surprise, surprise, you're not going to hear about that on the Legacy News. So, okay, so we're going to go over a little bit. I want to keep this under an hour, but okay, we'll see what happens. So, Russian assets. Let's see with the Russian asset. I think he is, but I also want to see if there was anything of value and what this whole thing's about. So okay, so we have the indicating card here, which is the Eight of Pentacles. That's them gathering up their information, working like the little worker bees that they are. But I'm always caught with the fact that they're so focused on the thing at hand that those pentacles get hung up, but they're not quite seeing the big picture. It also tells me they may have had their jobs, and maybe that the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing, which could make this interesting. So the energy with that is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So, which is that this kind of indicates to me that whatever information may have been given out, and look, this is terribly naive, and they're all a bunch of little titty boys anyway. I'm sure there's been some whining and stuff like that they may have sincerely thought they got the right stuff, but I'm not so sure. I'm absolutely not so sure. Okay, so then we have underlying here. Oh, the treason and but this is the after tarot. The treason and the betrayal, and it's really kind of messed up the heart of America. It's like we've got the bandages on, but that's only a temporary fix. But there is some real damage that's been done, and we hope we can get it to the hospital to save it. But this is after the swords come out. It's not going to be an easy recovery, but there is the treason aspect. This is so. Then we have the Emperor. The Emperor upright, which is the benevolent leader, which isn't anybody to do with MAGA. So I would say that there may be someone older in a leader in Congress. Maybe this could be the Bernie. Oh, maybe it's Bernie, because he really is. He's the real leader of the Congress. I mean, the Senate. I mean, it's like Ted Kennedy was the de facto leader, regardless. And this is what Bernie is. Something's telling me that Bernie may be on top of this stuff. That while he's out, speaking to the nation, which is important to do, he may have some people that are kind of digging into this stuff too. Very interesting. And then we have here, okay. This is the 10 of Wands, and before this happened, they are tied to his back. So afterwards, they were carrying too much, and it's all fallen apart. So while they could have been Russian assets, they may have really screwed it up. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Then in opposition, we have Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Wheel of Fortune. This is not whatever they may have been giving to the Russians. It hasn't gone well. It really. I mean, Russia can't come out saying, "How dare you messed up your treasonous acts." They'll just act on it. So that's the opposition. Really, really interesting. That which is saying karma's going to come, which would have been the last. This is the karma that's waiting to come from all of this. This looks like whatever they were doing, these guys are not the hot shots that they've been reported to be. It's like the Muskrat isn't the hot shot that he's reported to be. So I'm only giving you what the cards say. And this is so revealing. This is so incredibly revealing that maybe all of that stuff they were carrying was worthless. But we'll see. Okay, so conscious thoughts are, Well, we're just, we're it's like going to take all this stuff and give it to the Russians because Pentacles. That is because Pentacles. Subconscious. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I swear to God, I shuffled. It's come up. I think it's come up in all of the decks. Almost all these decks. I've used, what, 4 decks, and this guy keeps coming up. In almost all of them, but he's come up like in almost every reading. The Devil in reverse is that they really, deep down inside, maybe thinking that the devil isn't as powerful as the devil's losing his power, but they don't want to admit it, and they also don't want to admit how they're tied to it. And if it's coming to giving away secrets to the Russians, that there's going to be literally hell to pay. They're worrying about there's going to be hell to pay underneath. This is some serious stuff. I think what psychically, I think that they would. Oh, we didn't know these were going to the Russians. Okay. The Muskrat knew, but they'll try to say that we just did what he told us to do, which goes back to the one before, which is saying, they may be looking out for themselves. So, let me see. In the past, we have the Page of Swords, and this may be the naive getting into with their communications, because this had to be communicated, that there was a naivete, that it's possible they were not aware of the full ramifications. Okay. So in the present, we have, death in reverse, which is about near-death experience and being stuck in letting go of a lot of things they need to let go of. So I'm going to say they could be in the throes of having a very close card because call. If that death, I think the whole thing is that there may be something in the works to bring death upright. So that's the end of this whole project. But death in reverse is a very precarious position to be, because let's see, what would it take for him to go upright, which I feel is, the secrets of the High Priestess coming out, that there are some secrets, so the near death could actually turn into the death of this whole thing, but this isn't looking good for them. So in the not too distant future, we have, wounded little boys, kind of throwing some bandages on and getting ready to fight another day. But I'm telling you, even though they do, he doesn't look too enthusiastic. You know what I mean? He will go back and fight another day, but the enthusiasm is wavering, and especially if this has come down to Russian secrets, and maybe what got hacked into was the revealing of that, which I'm getting a strong intuitive feeling for entertainment purposes only. So this is kind of a wounding thing, and he's kind of wondering, do we go on with this, or are we going to do this again, or is there another battle that we can fight? So he's also looking at his options as to how he may be fighting for his best interest. There's still some fight, but where it's going to be directed, he's pondering. Then we have here, it's funny because a lot of the reversals that came up previously are coming up. Okay, there's a lot of betrayal, and this is the end of a cycle. I don't know if this may be saying they may realize the seriousness of what they have done, and that this could really do them in. That this is, when it comes to national secrets, going to a country that isn't exactly our best buddy, but it's also, this could be This is, and I do put this in so much alcoholic and addict, framework, is that this is often the card of hitting bottom. Is it possible that with this, that that's the bottom that they hit? It's like they know they're in there really, really deep, because even if they kind of knew what they were doing, they weren't, I don't think they realized the seriousness of this. This is what this is saying that they do, and that they are wondering if he is going to desert them in the hour of need. And that may be another reason why he's getting out of Dodge, because he knows that with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, that's karma nipping at his heels. And it's karma in a traitorous thing. I mean, we had the Three of Swords with the heart, the aftermath, that this is like, you wonder, is this something that we're, it would help if I held it up. Is it, we want, if we're ever going to be, is the wound so bad that we're going to be able to recover? And this is the question. So okay. Alrighty. Make a mess of this. Okay, so in conclusion, it comes down to the corrupt criminal enterprise, in which now, with the Trump crime family, we now have the Muskrat, the Doge boys, and going back to the Tesla thing, those guys, the real high muckety muckers, are wondering, do we even want to be remotely connected with this? Because now Muskrat and the little boys are a part of the family. It's really interesting because look at this. We got the old man. We got the old man back there. That's the baby. That's toddler in chief. We've got children. We've got we've got the adults, like the Muskrat, kind of middle-aged. Then we've got the little kiddies. Those are the Doge boys. And it doesn't get, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it doesn't get much more criminal than betraying the country that you're working for, the country that you're trying to find more efficiency. So this all is so connected. I have to say, this is so very connected in that maybe some of them are that maybe the light bulb is going on, but this is saying, yeah, it's highly likely that there was some feeding of information, but we're not sure if it was the right information, because maybe they weren't as good as they thought they were, but it's still that, in that it could be sinking in, and that that all of these people associated are going to want to distance themselves. So the big wrap up of this whole thing is, if he thought he was hated by, a lot of people, that he ain't seen nothing yet, because he's going to go back to a chilly board of directors and all the other people that work for him, plus the fact that maybe he's, going to be criminally charged, and that he could be taking these kids with him. But maybe these kids are finally waking up to maybe they don't want to spend the rest of their lives in jail. So stay tuned. This is going to get more interesting. So I'm glad I was able to do it in one, a little bit longer. So I'm going to bid you a farewell now. Bye-bye.